Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Claudia, for the great words. I think it's kind of interesting because the first time I went to a Bitcoin conference, I was in a room full of techies and T-shirts, and the only one with a suit I met, because I had a suit on as well, was Jacob Boersma he's now at Deloitte and will be on stage later. And Mark also keeps mentioning it, that he has seen over the years more suits coming in. But today is a bit different. I see less suits, and that, well, it makes me happy. Happy to see. So just for my information, how many of you are developing? How many of you are coding? So it was more than I expected, but that is really, really important that you're here. Thank you very much. Of course, everybody is important that you are here, because we're starting something cool. Let me start with our trailer, which has sound in the presentation.
Applications waiting to be discovered. The Netherlands has a growing ecosystem for developing blockchain-based solutions. We're supercharging this growth with the Dutch Blockchain Hackathon. And we're inviting the international blockchain developing community for an epic 54-hour hackathon. Startups and scale-ups, IT companies and students, corporates, regulators and governmental organizations working together on hand-picked, challenging use cases. This is the biggest open innovation program you can find in Europe, focusing on improving society through blockchain-based solutions. Join the pre-hackathon ecosystem meetups to be well prepared. Then, during the hackathon, you'll be co-creating, developing and pitching to a jury, with cash prizes and the winners advancing their prototype towards a real-world application during the post-hackathon acceleration track. Join the action at the Dutch Blockchain Hackathon. For dates, registration and locations, see blockchainhackathon.eu.
So, I think it's really special that so many governmental organizations and companies have joined and are investing in the ecosystem. So can I please get a warm welcome applause for all the partners that are currently also here? Yeah, because when I started with this, I wasn't sure who would join and how much enthusiasm there would be, but yeah, this is quite something, and also the regulators have joined, so I think this is great. Why are we doing this? When everything is new, so we're talking about new technologies all the time, convergence, singularity, AI, big data, blockchain. We need new ways of collaborating, we need new ways of thinking, we need to create new mindset. And we all know that we can't solve these old issues or even discover new ones without a new mindset. So we want to create a space where both people coming from the startup scene or scale-ups, as well as people coming from a corporate environment, small, medium enterprises, can join to do something completely new. And to get out of their comfort zone to make new discoveries. And why is this so uncomfortable for most of the organizations? So watching the ecosystem in the Netherlands, at least, growing and growing each year, you see that a lot of organizations, they get really excited about blockchain because it can solve, they think, all kinds of things all kinds of trouble they are experiencing right now, all kinds of legacy issues and stuff like that. But it's not only about that. Our society is changing. We have a totally different society than 30 years ago, but our organizations are from 30 years ago. So it's totally different in the way we work together and how we organize trust and how we organize our data. And so currently we're in this, let's say, ecosystem, and we've learned that it's not over yet with the ecosystem, but I think we're moving towards an ecosystem. And this is especially, I think, supported by blockchain technology. So it's quite a different system we're building. I think we're building the next operating system for our society. And the operating system we have now is based on organizations that work in an ecosystem. If you have an ecosystem, you need a polder model. You need a middle of the road. But we have learned, and we keep on learning, that the middle of the road isn't working quite well anymore in various ways. So we need a totally different way to support an ecosystem that works in a different way. And I think we need a beginner's mind. Whether you started with Bitcoin in 2010 and became a millionaire already and think you know everything about the blockchain there is, or whether you come from a governmental or banking or university and approach the same subject. I think we need to take this on heads-on with a beginner's mind. To explore not only what problem can blockchain solve, because I think we think about problems that we already know, and I think we may want to find out new problems which our organizations don't know yet. And how can we work together in very different ways? So we want to create this place where the unexpected can happen. And that's where the Dutch Blockchain Hackathon is for. So how are we going to do that? Already you saw it in the trailer. First of all, we have these kinds of meetups. Then we're going to rock and roll at the hackathon itself. And we want to take all the solutions that are being created and that are really useful towards an acceleration phase and to really hook it up to the international community. So the next meetup will be for the techies. We're going to do a deep dive session to look under the hood, as they say it. Really good YouTube video, by the way, Bitcoin Under the Hood, with an immense, cool set of speakers and extensive Q&A sessions. Really thankful that everybody is there and that Exact is hosting it in Delft. And then, of course, we're going to do some major preparations for the hackathon itself. So basically, you want to know, how can I win a hackathon? So we will be learning you that. About the challenges. So in the coming weeks, and the website is already open for that, we are selecting the use cases, and already we have the first one, which we'll show you more about that later. But you can drop the use cases at the website, and with our advisory board, we have selected a couple of subjects and tracks where the use cases will be available for all the teams to work on. And I think this is one of the most important things, because I've learned that especially there are a lot of business people that think about what you can do with blockchain and how the use cases could be. But this is not a topic where developers are all over the place. So I think it's up to the business people to also engage with developers and show them what other things you can do with blockchain as well. And the use cases are especially useful in that way. For instance, Claudia also mentioned a bit about it. Just imagine a QR code on your invoice which you can scan, and then immediately you will do the payment, the VAT payment, as well as the mutation in your accounting software. Well, we have ING, we have Exact, we have the Chamber of Commerce, we're working with the tax agency. So these kinds of use cases are in reach. We can just build this stuff. Imagine how it would save us all a shitload of time. So I think with this hackathon we can build digital bridges. And what's the main function of a bridge? It saves a lot of time and effort. So the hackathon, it's free. All the events are free thanks to our partners, but they're not without commitment. I'm really glad to see so many of you and that we have so low percentage of no-show. But at the hackathon, we need the same, because that's the biggest risk we're facing. So that's why in the registration process, we are building a community. And there we will get to know you and find out on what type of use case you are committed and how you and your team are involved in the ecosystem. So we look forward to meet all the teams and help you also form teams. We're doing this hackathon in Groningen. Yeah. So who of you people is from the Randstad, let's say. Yeah. So I learned today that we should rethink the way we look at the Netherlands. Yes? The Netherlands is not a dense country, but an empty city. So Groningen is actually really close. And Groningen will make sure you will have a blast of a weekend. Who is it for? Without developers, we will have no applications. The same goes for the designers and UX specialists. But of course, we have also the entrepreneurs and people who are really into modeling our society and business. So basically, anyone can join, I think, as long as you realize that you need a multidisciplinary team to really get your stuff doing. And especially need a getting things done mentality, because within this weekend you need to create a fully working application. I'm running out of time. We have a community website, which comes up here. Yeah. We have a community website. It's doing the same thing again. The community website, and we're doing stories from the ecosystem later, the community website is actually a platform to share knowledge with each other, to share ideas and to share stories on what's happening. And we're going to practice that later on with a couple of people. But this is the blockchain innovating community of the Netherlands. And it's growing each day with about 20 to 30 members. We're way over 500, so you have a good audience. Make sure you share your inspiring stories and what you've accomplished or how you can help the ecosystem grow further. We need you to spread the word also to developers and people who may be exciting about improving society and blockchain and using the internet as well. And after, of course, the hackathon, we will have the showcase conferences, for instance, in Brussels, where we hook up the international community to show, basically, because I think it's quite unprecedented that so many partners and so many people are working on improving society through blockchain-based solutions. And this will create unprecedented solutions and content. So you'll be sure that it will get noticed by the international community, because the showcase conference will be at the European Parliament and hosted by lots of internationally well-connected organizations. So, to wrap it up, this is how we do hackathons in Groningen. This is after our startup weekend of 3 days. Yeah? At Sunday evening, we're throwing a major party, and I think we will have about the same picture, but then with twice as many people. So, see you there. Thank you very much. It's a real pleasure to introduce you to the next speaker, because Lex has been at the the National Bitcoin Conference here in the same room in 2015, and we have many discussions on how, on one hand, Bitcoin can maybe be an improvement to society, or how it can be very destructive. It can be both ways. But also the same goes for blockchain. And when I mentioned the hackathon, I found a new interest of Lex, because well, he's looking at it from such a different way, from a scientific way, in his field of expertise, uncertainty and complexity. And well, we want, especially in these days, in this time frame, we know there are a lot of uncertainties and unexpected outcomes. You will be surprised. That's the motto of the day, I think. Lex, please join the stage, and a warm welcome, please.